What's up, world, and welcome to the 13th edition to the Take One podcast. I am your host, Chris, aka CMJ. It's whatever you want to call me. And this episode of the Take One podcast is all about Comic-Con 2016. Now, this past weekend, Comic-Con went down, San Diego Comic-Con, and they dropped a gang of trailers from Marvel and DC to, just Universal and all that stuff. And I'm here to cover it. It's a gang of trailers, and I enjoyed them for the most part. So, just to get all that out the way, I'm about to jump right into it. And the first one I have to get into is basically the one that I liked out of all of them. I mean, I wasn't blown away by it, but it's the one that I watched over and over and over again because it's actually a pretty good trailer. Which is the Justice League teaser trailer, and it's not really the official first trailer. It's a teaser trailer because it really doesn't show too much. It shows Bruce Wayne basically recruiting. Basically, it's like a recruiting type like a trailer or whatnot, and it doesn't really show too much action or anything. So it's more of a teaser trailer, and so I actually didn't know when it actually was available online. My brother actually hit me up and let me know, so I had to go check it out. And yeah, it's a pretty good trailer. Pretty good trailer. I mean, it shows that even though Zack Snyder is helming the machine that is Justice League, it shows that they learn from their trailers and what they did with Batman v Superman, that they wasn't going to do the same thing, that they wasn't going to give out everything. Now, given the first trailer to Batman v Superman was an awesome trailer, and then they kind of like messed up with the second one, and then, got back on track with the third one, it was like, this trailer was actually pretty good. It showed what it needed to show. It didn't show more than what it needed to. It just showed basically just getting you familiar with what Aquaman looked like and giving you a taste of him, giving you a taste of what the Flash is, giving you a taste of Cyborg, and we've already met Bruce Wayne and Diana Prince, or Wonder Woman and Batman in Batman v Superman, but at the same time, it gave us a reintroduction to it, and it shows that this one is lighter, that it has a dark tone to it, but it's lighter than Batman v Superman, which was a criticism amongst a lot of people, but I didn't like it. I thought that it fitted well. Like, I don't care, whatever. And I like the way Aquaman look up in the trailer. Like, he looks badass. Like, I know a lot of people have been crapping on Aquaman for, I think, basically ever since his arrival in DC Comics of, it's just a guy who talks to fish and he can swim fast, and that was it. And no one really took Aquaman serious. But I think this is going to be a turnaround on Aquaman. Now, I never was a comic book guy, so I never was like one of them type of people that looked at Aquaman like, oh, this is turning a new leaf. But I can see what people are talking about, and Aquaman looks pretty badass. I mean, Jason Momoa just as a human being. I mean, because I just started kind of getting into Game of Thrones. I haven't got too far. Like, I haven't even finished the second episode. So, and this is the first season or whatever. So I haven't finished the second episode. But even just in there, he looks like a badass human being. So with him playing the role of Aquaman, like, you can't help but to see him being like super badass. And even in the scene where Bruce Wayne just comes up into the bar and talks, to everyone and asking where this person is, and he's basically looking for Aquaman, and just the way he looks crazy. He looks, out of everyone up in the group, even Batman, he looks the toughest out of all of them. And I just dig it to the core. And just the music that they have in there. The music is so good. It fits the tone. It's like I said, like the trailer. I hope this is the way the movie is. It's like the trailer is kind of like, it shows that it has some darkness to it, but yet it shows that it has a lot of light tones to it. And the music just fits it perfectly. So they did this trailer really good. And then also with the Flash and Bruce Wayne, Batman, conversation, I liked it. Seeing it play out or whatever throughout the scene. I know it's chopped up. That ain't the entire whole scene, but I know they chopped it up. But the thing is, what kind of threw it off for me was that, like, some weeks ago, some journalists and press had a chance to go on set to the Justice League, and they were given a lot of information to take with them. And it's not like they were given the information they can't speak on it. They was, yeah, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, we're gonna tell you this. You go tell it, write it, whatever. Let people know, just spread the word or whatever. And one of the scenes was the main scene between Bruce Wayne and Barry Allen in their conversation, where Bruce Wayne throws the batarang at Barry, and Barry kind of like, he goes real fast and kind of like slows down time and looks at it. It's like they basically already gave out that full conversation of what was going to happen. And so it really didn't get me like that, but actually seeing it, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I'm not saying that like, it just, whatever, didn't do anything for me. I enjoyed it, but I would have liked it if I never saw that and, I took it in as it being like my first time. But I mean, I really like understand, like my brother put it in perspective, that a lot of the average moviegoers don't hear this stuff behind the scenes, didn't hear about certain people going on the set and hearing all this information, and they didn't get all this type of news. So this is for a lot of people their first time seeing this, so I mean, I get it. I get why they did it like that. I like the overall look for Cyborg. I mean, it wasn't nothing too extravagant. They going for like the older look, the more classic look of how he looked when he was first introduced within the comic books. And I kind of dig it or whatever. I know that they're gonna probably do more with him because we haven't seen too much of Cyborg and what he can do. We've seen what Batman and Wonder Woman both can do. So, Batman v Superman. Aquaman, we ain't really seen too much that he can do. We see that he's strong by the way he lifted up Bruce Wayne onto the wall. And then we saw Flash and what he can do. Just a little bit of his power from Batman v Superman. As well as up in the trailer when he stopped time, or, just when he, I wouldn't even say stop time, but he went fast or whatever, and he was just like looking at the batarang. So we kind of saw what he was doing. It's just Cyborg, even combined with Batman v Superman and this trailer, we still haven't seen exactly all the way he's capable of. So I'm waiting to see that, and he looks like he can play a really good, Cyborg. I don't know who the guy actually is. I haven't seen him in any other things. From what I hear is that he's been like on Broadway or whatever. So let's see what he can do with the role of Victor Stone, aka Cyborg. And like I said, Batman, it seems a little bit more lighter, cause like mainly throughout the whole trailer, he's not mean mugging. It's like he's kind of like have a little smirk on him. And he's like, it seems like he's trying, like he's in a better place. So I like where they're kind of going with that. But I hope that they don't make Batman too light to where that's an issue. Because Batman, when you look at the cartoons, when you look at the comic books and everything, Batman, Bruce Wayne, is a dark character. He's a dark man. He has a dark past that he hasn't let go. And he's just this dark figure. So I hope they don't lose that element in trying to make him a little bit lighter than he was in Batman v Superman. As well as like, it's basically a teaser. I mean, it's not really much that happened. It just shows the gathering of the Justice League. And it's, like I said, it was cut together really good. The music and everything was like good with it. And then you got scenes with Wonder Woman up in there, and it shows that Bruce Wayne is kind of like the recruit, and that Wonder Woman and Bruce Wayne are both like just the leaders of this group. And it didn't show too much. It didn't show the villains or anything. So more than likely when the first trailer comes out, we're gonna see the villain or villains, and we're gonna see much more. Hopefully it's a badass trailer, which if they go the route they did with this trailer and just keep going with that momentum and how they did it, I'm sure that they're gonna like they're gonna win with this movie, and I hope that they do. So yeah, and that's all I gotta say on that one. And so let's move on to the next trailer, which is the Wonder Woman trailer, and it's the first official Wonder Woman trailer. And just flat out, I liked it. Like I said, it didn't knock my shoes off. It didn't, blow my hair back, the little bit of hair I have. It was good. Like, I enjoyed it. Like, it showed what it needed to show. It didn't show too much. It didn't show like the enemy or anything like that. It basically kind of went the route of Justice League, and it shows like a lot of battle scenes. Like, what I got from this trailer was that it's filled with a lot of fight scenes, whether it's in World War II or World War One or wherever. I believe it's in World War II that it takes place, and that it shows like a fight on like the island or the world that the Amazons inhabit, and it shows a lot of just action. And I think that they're trying to go that route for a reason, because this is the first female-led movie that I think that they believe is going to be a highly successful female-led superhero movie. I mean, we've had some in the past: Supergirl, Catwoman, and some of them ain't coming to mind, but not all of them have been anywhere successful. And I believe that they're trying to make Wonder Woman, at least this incarnation of Wonder Woman, just this badass entity to come across that you would not want to get into a fight with this woman. And they're trying to make her look tough, and I have no problem with that. And I just hope that all the action scenes that they show up in there, that's not all the action scenes that they have in the movie. I hope that they save a lot more for when we actually see the actual film, and that they didn't just blow their whole load on the first trailer, or even blow their loads on the next couple trailers that they do. So hopefully they have more in store for it. And just, it looks great. Like, it looks fantastic. Like, even from the little clips that they showed earlier this year, before Batman v Superman came out, that they did on the CW, like, it looks gorgeous. It like, the cinematography looks like it's on point. So that's one of the reasons that got me excited to see this movie, because just seeing how it's shot and just how beautiful it looks, oh my god. And then it's like, Gal Gadot is a beautiful woman. She is freaking gorgeous. She is so beautiful, and to capture that during and to capture that through camera with the cinematography, I think that they're just gonna make a winner. Like, even if you don't like the movie, you're gonna be like, yo, she was beautiful to look at. I will watch this movie like 10 times just to see Gal Gadot, and whatever. And like I said, the fight scenes look awesome. They look badass. They look so good. And just how it looks, like, I can't tell if it's choreographed well throughout the film, because I haven't seen the film yet. So, but it looks like it's choreographed good, and the thing is, as I'm watching it, is that I hope they don't have a lot of slow motion shots. I know that I've seen like scenes where like she's sliding across the ground and it's like in slow motion, and even back earlier this year, like I said, when they were showing the clips, it was showing a whole bunch of slow motion scenes. I hope that those don't overcrowd the movie to where it's like, yo, what the hell? Like, okay, can you like speed it up? Can you keep it in regular motion? I hope it don't overcrowd the movie to where it's like it starts to get annoying. And that's one thing that I was thinking about. And I see that they used in the lasso of truth, and I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it is what it is. Like, I don't know. To me, if it gets used well, I think that I won't have a problem with it. But for right now, it's just, I don't know. I just thought, like I said, I don't read the comic books, so the lasso of truth really don't do anything for me. Just, she has a whip that glows and whatever, and she can, grab people with it, like, and force them to tell the truth. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem, it seems one of them tropes that they had back in the day, of course, and they just was kind of like didn't want to change it, and so now it just seems old fashioned to me. Like, the lasso of truth, it wraps around you and, oh, tell the truth. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's good for interrogation, but for just like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I guess if it's used right in the movie, I'll probably have a different look at it. But for right now, it's just, yeah, whatever. And that's really all I gotta say about it. I mean, I liked it. it didn't knock my socks off, but at the same time, it did its job. And, of course, like, I wanted to see this movie in the first place anyway. So, I mean, it makes me want to go see it more now. So, I guess it did its job. And so moving on to the next topic, which is the Lego Batman that's coming out next year. Now, I'm one of those people that a lot of movies that people claim to be so good, like last year or whatever, or just any year, I still haven't seen a lot of movies that people rave about. I just haven't had the time or just the want or the need to watch it. And the Lego movie is one of those movies. Now, anybody that, did reviews or anybody I talked to, they'll just talk about, oh, the Lego movie is so good. And just one of the stands out is Batman, the Batman character, whatever. And it's like, because he was so big, I mean, Batman is just a big iconic character that if anything is Batman, it's going to make money. That's DC's cash cow. Just like Wolverine is like Marvel's cash cow. It's just Batman is that same thing. And so just like any other movie, it's like Batman was a standout. And so now it's only right or, only logical to bring out a Lego Batman movie, which they are doing next year. And so the first official trailer here got released and it looks pretty good. Like it's not something that catch my interest, but I guess if I was to see the Lego movie, it probably would be more interesting to me. But I mean, this movie seemed like it's going to be fun. It seemed like something that I would go take my son to go see. It seemed like something that he would enjoy. And the teaser trailer that they released, I believe it was like not last year, the beginning of this year, I enjoyed. I really did. Like the scene where he's talking to himself in like the living room area, and then Alfred comes in there. Like that scene was hilarious to me. This trailer wasn't so much, but it ended up like certain scenes got me. Like certain scenes, I'm just laughing. Like when Robin had asked Batman, he was like, "Whoa, like Batman is living in Bruce Wayne's basement." He's like, "No, Bruce Wayne is living in Batman's attic." Like that is hilarious. It's stupid, but it's hilarious. I love that scene. And then just even like with the music fits it. Because it's a Lego movie, it's not supposed to be serious, it's supposed to be goofy, funny, or whatever, and comical. And they have freaking Wiz Khalifa, Black and Yellow playing. So it fits the mood of just like what they were going with it. And it's like I like it. It got me into the trailer a little bit more. As well as I love the scene where Robin picks out his costume and he's going through all the different costumes, and then he picks out the right, the Robin costume, the classic one, but with the tights or whatever. He said he don't like the tights or whatever, they're too tight, and so he rips it off. And since it's Legos, he's ripping off legs, and suddenly other legs appear, and just the way he's like moving, like kind of like shaking his butt, saying that like, oh, this is better and all this stuff. It's hilarious. I enjoyed that. Not the butt shaking scene, but whatever. But in any case, and then also like the ending of the trailer when he gets into the Batmobile and he's like talking about like, oh, these don't have any seats, and so Batman looks at him. He says, one thing you gotta learn is that life doesn't give you seatbelts. And so they go on, and then they come to a stop, and then Robin shoots forward and hits his head up against the windshield of the Batmobile. And so he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry about that. When we get back, I'm going to tell Alfred to install some seatbelts. But for right now, I'm going to just hold my arm over your chest like this." And that is hilarious. So it's like I wasn't interested in actually seeing this. But from the last teaser trailer all the way to this trailer, it got me wanting to see it. And more than likely, the trailer 2 and trailer 3 and everything else that they put out after that is going to make me want to go see it. So I have a feeling that this movie is going to be very good. It's going to be extremely funny. And it's going to be something that I want to go, and I'm just going to take my son because I know he's going to enjoy it. And so with that said, moving on to the next subject. So Suicide Squad is coming out within like, I'll say like about almost a little bit under 2 weeks. And so I am definitely gonna go see it, but they have been doing a lot of stuff with this, with the trailers and the advertisement and marketing and everything for it, advanced ticket sales and everything. And so what's been released online is it's like clips of the movie as well as a final trailer that was released at Comic Con, and so I looked at all the clips. All the clips are freaking phenomenal. I enjoyed it. It makes me want to go see the movie way more than what I wanted to see it in the first place. And so they dropped out a trailer with the Joker and all this stuff. So that's basically what I'm just about to be covering or whatever. And so I'm just trying to run through it and going to go through clip after clip after clip after clip, because I believe it's 8 clips. And then, whatever, as well as a couple other ones. But they show up in one of the clips that, like, the scene where it showed the Joker talking about he's going to hurt somebody really, really bad. That it actually is Harley Quinn laying on a table, and that's the person that he's about to, like, mess up. And that's probably at the point where he's, like, screwing up her brain to where she's basically as crazy as him. And then there was another scene about a pep talk, and Rick Flag talking to them and telling them that, like, they got this explosive in the back of their head that if they try and run, if they disobey him, this and that, or just if they do anything that he doesn't like, they're dead or whatever. And so Will Smith is telling him, they're like, oh, that's a pep talk. He's like, yeah, that's your pep talk. So that one was pretty cool. And then they have another one about, like, Amanda Waller. I think it's basically after they get ready or whatever. And so Amanda Waller is telling them all about their mission and everything else or whatever. And then once she's done talking, he got, like, Rick Flag has her on, like, this little tablet. And so after she gets done talking, he says, there's your pep talk. And so that one was pretty cool. Like, all these clips are cool. And then and it's giving more information about the characters than, that I didn't know or anyone didn't know. Like, Katana is not a part of the Suicide Squad per se. She is there to basically have Rick Flag's back. So she's not a thief or anything like that. And it's like, she's actually a cool character. Like, I have a feeling that I'm going to like each and every one of these characters. And it just shows that, like, yeah, like, she's just a badass, and that if she kills you with her sword, it traps your soul and stuff like that. So that scene was pretty good, of her coming into the plane late and blah, blah. And then there was another scene about, showing Deadshot, and it seemed like something that's going to happen at the beginning of the movie or something before he ends up getting captured, and he's doing like an assassination attempt, and he needs money from somebody, and he's like, it's getting down to, like, the point of no return. And so he's telling the guy that, like, all right, man, you're going to give me the money or else this opportunity is about to pass. And so he talks the guy into giving him money, and then he finally, like, kills the guy. So it's actually a pretty cool one. And then there's another scene where there was another clip where they're looking at the villains or the little monsters that they have to, like, fight from the villain or whatever. And so they're trying to make a decision on whether to act or not. And the thing that I got from this trailer is that I think Will Smith is going to play a bigger role than what we thought. At first we thought that, yeah, he was going to, be one of those names, but it shows that he is going to be kind of like a leader that the Suicide Squad looks up to, because Rick Flag is just all about, good. He doesn't want to lead this team, but he's doing it because of whatever reason. And so all the villains, because Deadshot is a villain himself, they're going to be looking up to him. And so it shows that within that clip. So it's actually giving out a bit more information. And I kind of like that. As well as another clip, what is it? And, I guess, like, they get defeated, and so they're kind of, like, regrouping inside of a bar. And so basically Will Smith's character or Deadshot is saying that, like, oh, we almost pulled it off, and they're toasting to each other, and basically giving themselves a little pep talk and all this stuff, and just trying to, like, think about what's happening. So that's basically what I get from that one. And then there's another clip out where it's the Enchantress, and it's basically like the people at the Pentagon or wherever they're at. It's their introduction to her, and I like the way she comes into the room. And Cara Delevingne, let me say, she's just sexy as fuck. But anyway, I need to get it out the way. But yeah, it showed Cara Delevingne, Mrs. Moon walks into the room, and so they wanted to see Enchantress, and then it shows like her say the Enchantress name, and then you see another hand kind of come through her fingers, and then her hand turns around, and then she becomes the Enchantress. And I love the way that they did that. I thought that was so cool. And even just the way the Enchantress moves from one side to the other, and how she got the documents that that this one guy was looking for, and you know, just the way that they have it, like, it looks so awesome, and I cannot wait to see this, especially her character. Not because I find Enchantress so sexy, even as the Enchantress, like, Cara Delevingne is just so sexy to me, but it's just the way that they have everything set up for this movie is so good. And so they have another trailer that's kind of like, it's the original trailer or whatever, but it has more Joker scenes into there, and I like that because it shows more of the Joker and what he's doing in there, and you know, it gives you more of a taste of him, and it's actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna speak too much on that, but yeah. And so they have the final trailer, which is basically a collection of all the clips put together, and it has some music playing and all this stuff. Like, you know, it's, you know, it ain't really nothing big, but at the same time, you know, it's nothing going to stray me away from not seeing this movie, or nothing is going to stray me away from seeing this movie. Like, this movie looks like it's going to be awesome, even if it's not like one of the greatest superhero or anti-superhero movies that we ever see. I have a feeling that it's at least going to be good enough for like a second screening. That's my prediction. And it's like everything about it looks so good, and so like they don't really need to do anything else. Like, me and everyone else is going to go see the Suicide Squad. So yeah, that's what it is. And so moving on to the next one. So also that's been dropped was Kong Skull Island, the first trailer. And I gotta say that this is one of the best trailers that I've seen come out of Comic-Con. Like, oh my god, like, I cannot wait to see this movie. I just hope that whatever the design they went with King Kong and how they made him look, I hope that it's worth the wait, because even though I didn't like the Godzilla movie, I love the design of Godzilla. Like, it's a classic look. It's basically the classic Godzilla, but he actually looks pretty awesome. And so King Kong, like I've said before in prior podcasts, that this is the largest King Kong that we have ever seen on the big screen, or any carnation of King Kong. That they're dropping, I believe that they're dropping the whole Empire State Building climb with the woman in his hand and all that stuff. So this is kind of like a new beginning. This is a reboot of King Kong. This is not the continuation of Peter Jackson's King Kong that came out some odd years ago. This is a totally new King Kong, totally new story, and it's going to connect to Godzilla, because they're going to eventually come out with a Godzilla 2 and then a Godzilla versus King Kong, or King Kong versus Godzilla, whatever they're going to call it. It's going to be two monsters fighting, and so they had to make this guy, they had to make this ape, they had to make this ape freaking just huge. They had to make King Kong just this freaking big behemoth, and I believe he's like 100 or 200 feet tall or whatever, so they had to make him huge if he's going to go against Godzilla, because Godzilla is a big motherfucker. And so, and this trailer was actually pretty good. It's just how it began all the way to how it ended. And of course, you know, it's not going to show King Kong straight off the bat. Probably with the second trailer or even the third trailer, they're probably going to end up showing it. But, you know, it's actually pretty good. And I love the scene where the tree is like smashing into the helicopter, and just the visual effects in it. You know, the CG and everything looks so good. It looks like they're trying to do something way different than what Peter Jackson did. And man, they've like, it seemed like they're about to knock it out the park with this one. And I love that giant handprint on the mountain, because it shows, it's like they give clues of how big this King Kong is. It's showing it, and just from the handprint, it's showing how big he is. And they even kind of like show him kind of standing up on on his two legs or whatever, and it cuts off before they even go a little bit higher, and then at the end of the trailer showing him like his head going up to the top of the mountain and breathing. Yeah, you can tell that this dude is, well, I keep calling him a dude. He's not a human. Uh, but you know, it shows that King Kong is freaking huge, and I just can't wait to see what they have in store with it. Like, they have Samuel L. Jackson in there, who seems like he plays a dominant role up in there, and John Goodman. You can't go wrong with that. Nor Tom Hiddleston. So I mean, they sold me. They sold me with this one, and I'm really like, I cannot wait to see this movie. And so moving on to the next one. Now, what can I say about this movie that hasn't already been said? And this movie is Doctor Strange, and this is the second trailer. Oh my god, like, I've been down for this movie ever since I first heard about it. I've learned never to doubt Marvel and what they're doing. I didn't have heavy doubt, but I kind of doubted that Ant-Man wasn't going to do that well. Ant-Man ended up doing good. I didn't know too much about Guardians of the Galaxy, and that movie ended up doing extremely well, going up against Captain America, and then also, no, it wasn't going up against that. No. What it was is that it did better, or it did the same amount as Spider-Man, and Spider-Man is one of Marvel's biggest properties. So for them to be an unknown name and do what they did, just knocked it off. So I didn't really think too much about Guardians of the Galaxy, but they did what they were supposed to do. So Marvel has a thing with taking these no names and making them big names. Or if not a lot of people know about it, just making them bigger than what they are. And so I learned not to doubt that. And with Doctor Strange, I didn't doubt it at all. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go see this movie. I don't know anything about Doctor Strange, but shit, it's Marvel, so it's more than likely going to be good. No doubts here. And seeing the last trailer and this trailer, oh my gosh. It has an Inception feel to it, with like, just, it looks like it's crazy. It looks so crazy. Even from like the villain of Mads Mikkelsen. It looks crazy. He looks crazy. Doctor Strange looks crazy, and I mean crazy in a good way. Like, just how the digital effects and CG and everything is used within this trailer. It sold me. There's really not too much I can say about it, because I want to see this movie. I want to see it today. Like, this movie looks like it's going to be awesome. It looks like it's going to freak everyone out. It looks like it's going to blow your mind with everything that they do. Because if you just look at it, with the cities being turned all upside down, sideways, and going into different dimensions and everything, it looks so good. And it looks totally different. And that's the thing with Marvel, is Marvel has a lot of movies where they have different genres, where they might do something with this character and, this way, and they might do something with that character in this way. And so this one is going to be the first time that they worked with like magic this heavy within a MCU movie. So this movie, just from the trailer, looks like it's going to be different than any other MCU movie that has been out ever since Iron Man 1. This movie look like it's going to be so good. And I'm just, I mean, that's all I can really say about it. It's anyone who's seen this trailer, if you haven't, go check it out. It's the second trailer to Doctor Strange, and it has me hooked. It got me really excited to go see it. And this is one of the other trailers that I was really like happy when I saw it. It was freaking phenomenal. And so moving on, this is kind of a movie that I guess you could say, like the other films that I really didn't care about, or care too much for. It's the Harry Potter films, and it's like, this just not my speed. I kind of like fantasy when it's done certain times, but not all the time. And so when they said they was coming out with a prequel, I guess, of sorts, which is The Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and I guess you could say it's a prequel spinoff or something or whatever. But in any case, I thought that, I didn't think too much of it. It was like, whatever. But then after seeing this trailer, I was like, yo, this is something I might end up checking out. Now, I'm not excited to go see it. It didn't blow me away, but it got me kind of like, interested in going to go see it. I wasn't like a person that goes crazy over Harry Potter, but this, it seems like it's going to be a good movie. It really does. I have no doubts about it. The only doubts about it is that, I'm just not familiar with this, so I don't know what to expect. Even though I've seen all the Harry Potter movies, even though, like I said, like I'm not a fan of Harry Potter, I've seen all of them. A few of them I've seen in theaters. I think maybe like I've seen the last two in theaters and probably one other one. But it's like, it's just, it's whatever. But this one actually looks pretty interesting. And it got me curious to go see it. The CG looks good. It looks very good. Oh, sorry about that. Let me cut off my phone. But the CG looks very good. It looks like it's it looks like it's gonna be like, I ain't gonna say like it's gonna win best visual effects or nothing, but it looks pretty good. It looks pretty convincing. As well as it looks like it's gonna be fun. It looks like it's gonna be a really fun movie. Like any kids that go see it, it may have some like scenes that Harry Potter had where it's like really dark or whatever. It probably might end up getting dark to that point, but at the same time, it looks like it's gonna be a fun movie. It looks like it's gonna be hilarious. It's gonna be so funny. Probably not too funny, but like I said, I don't know what to expect from these movies. I'm not a big Harry Potter fan. I'm not a big person into the Harry Potter world, so I just expect what I see from the trailer, and it has that Harry Potter feel. Harry Potter has a distinct feel to it, and this looks like they got that same feel. You got J.K. Rowling, who is the creator of Harry Potter. She is a real heavy influence on these movies, as well as she was with the Harry Potter movies. So it's like, she's going to bring that Harry Potter feel to it. So I mean, I'm curious to see what they got to offer for the next trailers, and then when the movie comes out. So I'll be waiting for it. And so moving on. So the new King Arthur trailer has dropped. It's the first official trailer for the movie King Arthur, and I liked it. I mean, I don't know, like it was just something that it just didn't grab me, but I did like it. I like Charlie Hunnam. I mean, he was in Sons of Anarchy, and that was one of my favorite shows when it was on. It's still one of my favorite shows of all time. I mean, it's not high up on the list, but I highly enjoyed it. Like, I'm not one of those people that caught on like years like after like episode, not episode, but they started watching it during season 4, and had to catch up. I started watching that from the beginning and all the way up into the end, and it was like he was a great character in there. And so that's one of the people where like I was such a big fan of him, of the show, that I want to see him in movies. I want to see him, excel in like big budget movies. I don't want to see him fail because he's such a good actor. Matter of fact, he's a great actor. I just hope that he can translate well into a scene. And I hope that King Arthur is one of them scenes that, one of the movies that do that for him. And I know a lot of people didn't like him in Pacific Rim, or didn't like Pacific Rim as a movie or whatever, but I highly enjoyed it. Like I liked his character in there and everything else. I just want to see him more in other movies, in other big blockbusters, and like even like independent films to show off his acting skills. I want to see more of it because I enjoy him as an actor. I enjoyed him on Sons of Anarchy. I enjoyed him in everything I've seen him in so far, as far as like movies after like post Sons of Anarchy, and it looks good. It looks really good. It looks like something that's gonna be highly enjoyable. If it's not like a good movie, it's gonna be enjoyable. And it looks like it's a movie. It looks like it has a lot of humor in it. Even just how the trailer starts off, it looks like it has like a crap ton of humor in it, and it shows that like they're not trying to be too serious with it. And I like that, So I hope that it is funny. I hope that they have a good balance with it. And if they do, I'm going to come out there smiling. As well as I see they have magical elements as well as supernatural elements in there, which I was hoping that they was going to do, because I hope that they weren't going to try and take it too serious, that they was going to be on the fantasy side. Because if you know King Arthur, what comes to mind? Merlin the magician. So it's like, I don't know if they have Merlin in there, but you have like magic in this movie, and that I think that bumps it up a little bit more. It shows that they're not trying to be too dead serious with it. That it's not like a realistic take on King Arthur. That they're trying to have fun with, and they're trying to make it a good action film as well as a good film. So I kind of like that, and the music with it fits. It's a good combination with it, and I liked it, and just all the fights look good. I mean, Charlie Hunnam, he looks good in doing from what we see up in the trailer. It looks like he does good with the fight scenes. So hopefully that is the case when we actually see the movie. So I mean, it's one of those movies that I'm actually looking forward to going to go see. Hopefully that the next two trailers and everything else they put out about it will like hyping my enthusiasm to go see it, but oh no, only time will tell. So, and with that said, moving on. So, a trailer to Blair Witch, which is a new upcoming film that's dropping in September 16th of this year, which was basically under wraps. Like, no one, I don't believe anybody knew about it. It was like, whatever. And it is a sequel to the Blair Witch Project, which came out, I believe, what is it? It had to be like 98, 97 or whatever. It's a sequel to that, and it just like that one, it is a found footage film, and basically it follows the same realm of, it follows the same thing of the first film where kids go up in the woods looking for something, they end up getting lost and this and that, and they end up basically getting stalked by something that is, probably going to kill them or whatever. I mean, obviously. And it looks like the trailer looks terrifying. Not saying that I was scared about it, like I was jumping all around, but it looks like it's going to be a creepy ass movie. It looks like it's going to be good, and like with the tricks and everything that they can do today with film, it probably might be really good, but I don't know, because found footage is like nowadays you can't really find too many good found footage films because it's been done to death. So out of 10 of them, you probably might find about 3 or 4 of them that's actually pretty good. But I mean, it's not too many tricks that you can do with found footage and actually make it seem good. And so with this one, it's like you're playing off of an old movie that actually worked for the time it was, because that was the first time it had been used. Well, not the first time, but before it's been used, but that was the first time it actually was like mainstream, where people actually saw this movie and actually really thought it was real. I mean, people actually believed that this was something done, and it was an actual event. Like, these are actual tapes that was put onto the big screen and stuff like that. And so it was the first time that was done. So that's the reason why it worked. But now it's like found footage is everywhere. Like, every year you come out with like about probably 100 found footage films, and for the main reasons that they're done for very cheap, like very, very cheap. You could probably do a found footage film for like under $1 million. Just pump it out in like a week, and then just bam, you got it, and make tens of millions of dollars off of it. So I mean, it's like this. It looks like it's kind of like a rehash of the first film. That's basically what I got from it. Maybe it has some tweaks and stuff around it, but it looks like it's just the same film. And like, if I hadn't looked it up and see that it was a sequel, I would have thought that they was just it was a reboot. That this was just the thing. And so I think that they need to make that clear. Like, within the trailer, they didn't make it clear that this isn't a reboot, that this is an actual sequel. And they gave a slight. They gave a slight hint that it was, because one of the guys was looking at a video and he said, "I think this is my sister." So, I mean, but you could take that in any perspective, but at the same time, there was a film where, a girl who got, who died or whatever with her friends in the search for the Blair Witch or whatever, just basically just, disappeared or whatever. And so it's like, that's the first thing that came to my mind, is this a sequel? But I wasn't entirely sure. But from what I've read, that it is a sequel, but originally it was called The Woods, but now it's The Blair Witch, or just Blair Witch. But I hope that it's not a rehash of the first film, because if it is, I don't know if it's going to be all that good, but I mean, hopefully it is good. So, and I enjoyed the trailer. I think it did what it was supposed to, just entice us and make us want to go see it, show that it is scary. And so, I hope that it is that. I hope that it's not lying. And I don't know. I'm really 50-50 about it because it shows too many elements of the first film. So, I mean, hopefully they do it well. And so moving on. And so on top of everything else, the trailer to season 7 of The Walking Dead had premiered at Comic-Con. And I am a big fan of The Walking Dead. That's one of them other like shows that I didn't, jump on a bandwagon. That I've watched The Walking Dead ever since the first episode, premiered, because I am a big horror fan. So that was like, oh, a show about zombies? That's right up my alley. So yeah. And like ever since then I've been hooked, especially with the seasons lately. Like they just been knocking it out the park. I know a lot of people didn't like the end of season 6, but I thought it was like good. I mean, how else can you end it? You're not about to sit here and show who Negan killed. Like, no, you're gonna want to leave a cliffhanger to let people want to see it. Now, given if you were to show who he killed or whatever and just end it off like that, you have people want to see it. But now it's like we don't know who he is, so that's the one thing that we want to see is who did Negan kill. And so, I mean, we still don't know that, because one thing that I noticed about this trailer was that I was questioning, because it starts off with like scenes from the last film. I mean, not from scenes from the last season, and it shows kind of like a rehash of like the last episode where Negan is like any mini mighty mo with his back, and at the same time, each person you go to, it shows the flashback of that person throughout the seasons, and it just keeps going, and it shows like a piece of wood, like kind of like the bat, and it just keeps going up, and so it ends up getting to the end of that, and then it shows scenes from season 7. And so even before then, when it started showing that, I was thinking like, okay, are they gonna mess up? Are they gonna show somebody that was from the group that probably got killed? Are they gonna show it in the trailer? And they didn't. I was surprised at that. Like, they showed all the new characters that are, wasn't, with Rick and the rest of them. And they showed the people that we haven't seen yet, the people that we haven't got introduced to yet. They showed them all throughout the trailer. They showed Negan and some of his people and stuff like that. But they didn't show Rick. They didn't show Carol. Well, not they showed Carol. She wasn't like with Rick. But they didn't show Carl or Cole. They didn't show Daryl. They didn't show anybody that was, that possibly could have died. And I thought that was pretty cool, because it's like you're not giving it away. You're not limiting, what, who could have died. You're not narrowing it down for us. It's like you're keeping us on our toes. And I thought they was going to mess up with that and actually show somebody from the group. And then we're like, oh, we know this person ain't died. But they didn't. It was like all new people. And so they had enough footage to like kind of do it. So I'm like, okay, cool. And so, as well as they, like I said, it was just really carefully put together. And then they showed Carol, and it seems like she's kind of losing her mind. I mean, towards the end of season 6, you can see that she went from a total change. That she went from being this just badass girl that take anything to, would do anything to, protect her group and the people that she called her family and friends and stuff like that. But now it's like she doesn't want to kill. She doesn't want to fight. She's like more softer, more emotional. And then in this trailer, it seems like she's kind of crazy. Like, like, I don't know what to expect from her. It seems like she's kind of like off her rocker. So, I don't know. I don't know where they're going to go with this. And so, they introduced a new character in the trailer, which his name is King Ezekiel. And he looks like he's going to be a main character. Now, hopefully he's on the side of Rick and everybody else. And that's how Negan is going to get taken down towards the end of the season. But he looks pretty badass. He looks like he's in charge, and he's a black man with a tiger. Yeah, I don't think anybody is messing with him. I really don't. He has a freaking tiger chained up, and that's his pet. I don't know anything about this character. Like, I haven't read the comic books or anything, so I don't know anything about this character at all. I don't know anything. So, he looks to be a pretty badass character. So hopefully that's the issue. And so one thing that kind of like took me for a surprise, but just kind of got me confused and scratching my head, was that at the end of the trailer they showed this whole thing. It was like about 10 seconds of Tara, and Tara died last season. I'm sorry if you haven't watched it. This spoiler. I'm sorry. I should have threw that up. But I'm gonna throw it in the description, so whatever. But Tara died last season. If I'm not mistaken, she got shot in the head. So how in the hell is she alive? And those look like new scenes. I mean, you're not about to show scenes like that towards the end of the trailer and she not be alive. Like was really no point of it because they made a distinct decision to end the trailer off with her. So it's like, what the hell? I don't know. But that's what really got me curious to see what the hell is going on with that. And so that's really all I gotta say about that. I just can't wait to season 7. So moving on. And so the last and final topic of this episode, I'm not trying to go extremely long, is the Luke Cage and Iron Fist season 1 trailers. Now there has been several like teaser, regular trailers or whatever that have been going on, but I'm gonna first attack Luke Cage's trailer, and it looks badass. That's all I gotta say. And moving on. Nah, just playing. But yeah, Luke Cage looks like he's gonna be my next favorite person. I mean, it's like I enjoy all of them. Daredevil is just a badass person. Like he's just a badass hero. And then the Punisher. Anybody that knows me know how I feel about the Punisher. That's my dude. And then freaking Jessica Jones was like, she's actually pretty good. Like she's a pretty good character. Like well fleshed out. Like she had less fighting in her show or whatever. But at the same time, she was intriguing. And then Luke Cage was one of those people that we introduced to him on Jessica Jones. But yet we was very intrigued by him. Like at least I was. And just how he looks and just him coming into like one of the trailer where he basically rips off the car door, and so he goes into this building. He starts fighting all these guys that's shooting at him, and is blocking like the car door is like blocking some of the shots. He hits people with it, and then he puts this one dude up against the wall and kind of bends the car seat around him, and well not car seat but the car door around him, and then he knocks him down the stairs, and people are shooting at him, and it's so crazy. Like it looks like it's gonna be such a good show. That's one of the Netflix shows that I cannot wait to see this year. And then on top of that, it was another kind of teaser trailer where Luke Cage, he ends up getting shot by people or whatever, and he just stands there and he just says, I'm so tired of buying new clothes. And it's like, yo, I need to see this. This is like it's going to be so good. I mean, because Marvel, with the movies and even with the shows on Netflix, shows that they can't do any wrong. So I just can't wait. And then Iron Fist is not really too much to say about that. It's just Iron Fist. It was a teaser trailer, and you know it really wasn't too much shown. I mean, it just shows him or whatever just punching through a wall and all that stuff. And I mean, that's all it really gave us. I mean, it didn't show too much. It didn't show him in like a costume or anything or any villains or whatever the heck. But I mean, it is what it is. But I enjoyed the Luke Cage trailer for the season 1, and so I can't wait to see either one of those because, like I said, Marvel hasn't done this wrong yet. So I believe that Iron Fist is going to be good as well. And with that said, this concludes episode 13 of the Take One podcast. And I'd like to thank all of you guys for joining me for this Comic-Con trailer extravaganza, whatever, that dropped this past weekend. And if you guys liked it, which I know you did, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe so that you can get notifications and you know, just you will get to know all the new stuff that's going to be happening with this channel, from like just the podcast to like the movie reviews and everything else. And leave a comment, you know, whether you disagree or agree, or just you just want to give your opinion on whatever I'm talking about with these podcasts, the movie reviews, or anything. Just go ahead, leave a comment, man. If you like it, go ahead and share it as well, you know, with anybody, and spread the word about the Take One podcast or whatever. It has no set date, so I'll be dropping it like within the past week, which from like last week to today, which is Monday. I've been dropping a lot. I dropped episode 9, 10, and 11. And then on like yesterday, I dropped episode 12, and then now episode 13. And so I probably might be dropping a few more this week. Maybe not. It depends on how I feel, because I got a lot of stuff going on, and even just doing these podcasts is taking a lot out of me. But anyway, I'm gonna kind of cut this short, my talking that is, and just say that, go ahead and keep listening, to the latest episodes that I'll be putting up. As well as I will be doing a wrestling podcast. So if you're a wrestling fan, go ahead and check that out. It will be up this Saturday. If not, I will keep you guys posted. Anything else as far as social media is down in the description below. So go ahead and check that out. And all the links to the other podcasts is in the description, as well as the minute reviews and the movie reviews that I've done or whatever. Go ahead and check that out. It's all in the description below. And thank you guys again for joining me for this Take One podcast, and I will catch you guys later. Until next time.